You're like,
Okay, here we go. I'm Dr. Candace Hall, Assistant Professor of Educational Leadership at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. This last year has been amazing and beautifully unexpected. So it started in November when I premiered the documentary Clusterluck at the Association for the Study of Higher Education, and the response was overwhelming, like more than I could have ever imagined, which made me even more excited about the project and made me look at it in a different way. I don't think I really thought about what this project would mean for other people, particularly Black faculty who are still the only in their departments. But it resonated with a lot of people, and it set me on this journey to travel across the country and share this work and have lots of thoughtful and beautiful conversations with people about the work and what it means.
We're really happy to have Dr. Hall back with us tonight to present one of her newest projects, and this creative work as a film, but also engaging with issues that are really important here at WashU and at every university at this point. And I can honestly say, and could talk about this for longer than the film, but I'll just say right now that really all that we've been able to build in terms of a culture and the way in which we work with our students and the kind of community that we've built is really owed more than anybody to Candace, who really worked with us on every aspect and really helped build a culture and had us working with each other and working with her in ways that we feel every day here in the department.
When he started talking,
When we invited Dr. Candace Hall to the community of Moscow, Idaho, and to the University of Idaho to share with our administrators, faculty, and staff about ways in which we could better support and advance our Black faculty and staff here at the University of Idaho and Washington State University. We learned how to better support those faculty and staff. Her movie related to cluster hiring was masterful in showing ways that Black people can be in community and show Black joy, thriving, and flourishing.
Oh my goodness, I was inspired, I was enlightened. I have to tell you that when the opportunity came up for this documentary and I seen the title Cluster Luck, of course I immediately thought of cluster F-U-C-K, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is probably going to be about these awful experiences, right? Which would have still been insightful, but how amazing is it to come and be filled with joy, right? To learn about this amazing way that Dr. Hall has built and grown in this sustaining community, particularly in a PWI, right? Where there's such an overwhelming presence of whiteness, right? That just pervades.
Cluster luck. Am I a lucky girl? Yes, pun intended, to have been able to host Dr. Candace Hall and her short documentary about cluster hiring. It was very much one that made me feel good, right? Because everybody wants to be at a place where, they know your name, kind of like Cheers, like Norm, go to a place where, they know your name, but also to a place where you feel a sense of connectedness, you feel a sense of belonging, And it's not always organic to have Black faculty come within what are historically white spaces in terms of their departments or the larger campus and feel that sense of being settled and feel that sense of being grounded and seen and cared for and loved on, right, in terms of a sense of community. And so what they have done in short, and a pun intended again with the short documentary, is that they have reminded us that there has to be very purposeful, intentional actions, and that we got to step beyond our statements when we say diversity matters, that representation matters, that Black faculty matter, because we do. And to the extent that we provide spaces and environments for which people can thrive and not just merely survive, then they could be their best selves. And that can then help us to not just recruit more, but to retain the good folk we have, and to create what would be a legacy of attracting and recruiting those that are scholars in training at our respective programs and planting those seeds out into the larger field where they could then create those environments at other institutions of higher learning.
Yeah, I feel affirmed and I feel more confident that I know what I'm talking about and that I am walking in my purpose. For me, like, that's the most important thing, to be in alignment with what I know God has called me to do in this time.
Clusterluck is an example of how Black faculty form community and maintain community. Black faculty are critical to our own retention and success, but Clusterluck does us even one further. It shows our lives and our stories as deeply nuanced. We're not just our struggles, our encounters with microaggressions. We experience joy, we experience happiness, and we experience community.
Clusterluck!
When I think about this project and I think about where I've gone, where it's taken me, I really am encouraged to trust my gut and to do the things that pull on my heartstrings, regardless of what anyone has to say, right? But to just take that risk and to pursue the thing. So I think that's one of my biggest takeaways is to, one, trust not only my gut, but to trust other people that I'm collaborating with. And then also to just, take the leap, jump, do the thing. Yeah, in terms of the Black faculty experience, I really wanted to change how Black faculty experience their work environments. I want departments and institutional administrators to pay attention to the experiences their Black faculty are having on their campuses and think about how they can contribute to transforming that experience to make it better for them. In terms of the output of the scholarship, I want other scholars to be encouraged to take up their work in creative ways so that it reaches a larger audience. We spend a lot of time with our research, our thoughts and ideas, and I think they deserve to live beyond a journal, right? So how can we take up this work not only in a journal article, which is good, but also how can we be thinking about this work in creative ways that lands with multiple audiences, where people can take this work up and actually use it to transform their practice. That's my biggest hope from this project. One of the most memorable things that someone said to me is my friend Paris from college. And when she saw it for the first time, she saw a rough cut and then she came to the screening at SIUE. And she said to me, "This is a beautiful reflection of who you've always been. Since college, you've fostered communities and you've always worked to make sure that people felt comfortable and safe around you." And it's just this is just such a beautiful reflection of that. And so that made me feel good because that is something that I try to do often. I want people to experience this sense of home and sense of community. And I know that comes from my aunt Shirley. Really informed my idea of community. Her house was the spot everybody went to that felt like home to you. There's always something on the stove, music playing, good vibes, just a good time. So if you didn't feel welcome anywhere else, you felt welcome there. And that's been my goal. Just looking forward to living in the creative clouds, as I like to call it, and really investing more time there. So still working on my scholarship, but thinking about how it can live not only in a journal article, but what's the creative aspect of it that I want people to resonate with in a different way.